Hi, welcome to the Small Scape. Today I'm doing a requested miniature clay pumpkin tutorial, and I'm going to include 3 different types of pumpkins, including this little cutie, a tiny little jack-o'-lantern, happy fall, and I'm going to show you how to light him up, and it's easy, fast, and it's only $1. This I consider a game-changing hack that you can use for anything tiny you want to light up, including a little garden, what have you. And remember, Christmas is coming up, so you're gonna probably want to be lighting up some cute little decorations soon. And then hopefully you too will become addicted to making tiny clay pumpkins in different sizes, shapes, colors, and you'll have armies of little pumpkins like I do. So let's make some little pumpkins. Welcome to the official tiny clay pumpkin tutorial. I'm going to be doing 3 different kinds. First one is just your basic little tiny clay pumpkins. The second one is what I call a little pumpkin planter. You see these out in full-size ones a lot these days, so that's really fun because you can put tiny little sedums or maybe a little tiny succulent cutting in there. And then this third one, this is my little jack-o'-lantern, and he lights up. You can get him to light up. So that one, stay tuned for that. And my next video will feature a whole lot of probably these guys in a Scape, so watch out for that. All right, I'm gonna move these guys out of the way and let's get started. You can use whatever clay you want. I prefer Primo Sculpey. It's not too hard, it's not too soft. I've always preferred this brand. But you need an oven if you're going to be using polymer clay. If you don't want to use that, you can use something like Crayola air dry clay. And I think Fimo, especially Fimo brand, has an air dry clay you could try too. And then the tools, I have several tools, but really the only one you're going to need, I think, is a toothpick. And for the jack-o'-lanterns, you're going to need a marble. You could use a tool, something like this too if you wanted. So let's get started. All right, the first one is just a regular pumpkin. So all I do is form it into a ball. Okay, and then what I do is I kind of flatten it, put an indent on the top, and then I flip it over and I put an indent on the bottom. And that's just gonna help me know where the top and the bottom is. Now, all you do is line up the tip at the top and you're gonna roll it. And then roll it back. And if it's not perfect, don't worry about it. You can either, if it really gets messed up, just start over again and then do it again over here. I generally, and see like that, that's fine. It will fix that. Do it in maybe quarters, but that's why you do a mark at the bottom so you can try and find it. If you're needing to make a lot of pumpkins, like I said, this is a pretty quick way to do it. I find it kind of relaxing and fun. You can also use, there's a lot of mold mediums that you just mix together to goopy things. They're like jelly and they become molds. And then once you have one of these baked and cured, you stick it in the mold and you have a mold to make more pumpkins. Okay, so now this is basically it. And then what I usually do is just kind of add a lot of pumpkins. We'll have little marks every so often. Do whatever you want. You can have it look neat. And then, because you know, pumpkins get a little beat up. Here, you can do little, sometimes they have little marks on them, little scratches, however you want. And then we do a stem. Sometimes I think I'm just gonna do like a little brown stem. And this, all you do is you roll it this way and make a little wormy. And you want it to be pretty skinny. Cut it however. And then you can, sometimes what I'll do is I'll make little little marks. Just turn it little cuts like a real stem has. You can even twist it, right? However you want. And then do it like that. And then I use a toothpick again, kind of smush it in there. There, a little tiny clay pumpkin. You can make them, I like to make little super tiny ones. Not that this is the super tiniest, but it's a lot of fun. All right, so now let's do the pumpkin planter. Take about the same size. I've already rolled it into a little ball. And then what I do is I take this, you can also use a marble. Okay, let's use the marble. And then you're just gonna form it around. And even if your clay cracks a little bit, I actually leave that because sometimes pumpkins crack. Now, the jack-o'-lantern. It may look like it's very complicated, but actually it's not. We're gonna do the same way. Let's take a marble. Okay, we're gonna start out the same way that we did with the planter. This one you need to have a marble. And you know what I think I'm gonna do? All right. And this one, obviously your marble is a certain size. If you wanted something larger, well, let's just stick with this size because this one does something really kind of, I think, kind of neat. Because if I'm gonna make a jack-o'-lantern, it has to light up because it has to be, you know, like real. All right, so I'm gonna make it roughly about the size of 3 marbles. If I'm using a marble, I want enough room for another marble around all the sides. Does that make sense? Because I need to wrap the marble completely. Okay, and you can tell this is where the extra clay is, which we need extra clay, and that's going to become the bottom so that it can sit flat. So your pumpkin's not rolling around. Now, first, I'm going to do what I always do. That. I'm going to do that on the bottom. And I'm going to do, because with us making a face, we're going to be handling a lot more. All right, so now pick the side that you want to start. This one, I find the best tool to make a little face is an eyeglass screw. Now, I'm only doing it very lightly here, not all the way through the clay, so that I know that that's where I want my final face. But I think that'll work out. Now, just like with the eyes, I have to take my little screwdriver and get all the way to the marble. And keep in mind, the more you're working with the clay, the softer it's going to get. So if it starts getting too smushy, if it's polymer clay, then set it down for a minute and come back to it. What's really cool about this little guy is, got the hole in the back, so we can always put a little string light right in the back of it. And the marble, if you use a clear marble or a colored marble, I used a little teal colored marble, is that the light will shine right through it. Little space, so cute. All right, so I've made a total of 3. 2 jack-o'-lanterns with the little face, as you can see. Made another one here. And a little polka dot. I don't know if you've ever seen like the little polka dot ones. They make cute little ones with a little swirl design of little holes in the pumpkin. That's where the light shines out. There are a few different options to light up your pumpkin. My favorite little string lights to use are actually from the Dollar Tree, and I think they have these for different seasons. This one is pumpkins, but it doesn't actually matter what is on the little light strand, because when you take them out of the box, this is what you get. And they have these little plastic covers on each individual LED light. But the great thing is that they come off. Sometimes it takes a little bit to get them off. All right, so here's the little LED light. I'm not going to turn them on because they're actually very, very bright. And what holds them onto there is this little tiny plastic clip. Okay, it's a little plastic piece that this cover fits on, and then this holds on to the little LED light. So you can use them any one of 3 ways. We could cut the pumpkin in half and remove the sides, and we could just have the entire string light go in there, cover and all. Or what I like to do is, let's see, let me show you with this one here. Okay, so make a hole in the back. You can make a hole in the back, or you can even make a hole in the bottom. I like to do here because then I know that it won't bother how the pumpkin is sitting. Okay. Put this little guy in like so. I'm not going to use this part. And then when you have the light string, quite possibly you're going to have either more than one pumpkin, or you're going to use it in a scene. You're going to be lighting a number of other things up with it. So one of these lights will fit. It'll snap right into the back of this pumpkin, because once we bake this, we can put the clay around it a little closer so it holds on to it. We can slide that in. Well, I hope you liked the video, and maybe you will try making some pumpkins of your very own. I'm warning you, it is very addicting and very relaxing to make a bunch of little pumpkins. I am posting a lot on my Instagram the month of October of little tiny pumpkins and different little scenes and whatnot, so that's fun. And my next Scape will be featuring some little pumpkins like these too. So hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!